Hello, comadres. Welcome to the Moon Report. My name is Marlene, the modern mystic, and your resident moon goddess, here to tell you all about the full moon in Scorpio and to welcome you to our sacred space. If you are in the membership community, remember that you can always join us live. We have a spiritual question and answers session um every full moon, every moon report right after this portion. So we would love to have you. Let's get started because we are unpacking some things and we are in the portal of eclipse um, in a full moon in Scorpio right now as we speak. The full moon happened at 1:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today, and the eclipse happened a little before that, but we are in that portal. Now, the full moon effects last about 3 days after the full moon. So within these 3 days, you can say we are in Scorpio eclipse portal. So first things first, make sure you hydrate, make sure you are restoring, maybe some restorative yoga, maybe some recovery exercises, maybe a sauna. I mean, really take care of what your body is asking right now because there's a lot that is unearthing. And when we're talking about eclipses and when we're talking about Scorpio energy, not only can it be intense, but it's also in happening in these spaces that are hard to grasp. The internal turmoil with the external manifestations really becomes so intense, and it just becomes a lot for the body and a lot to process emotionally, especially. So these eclipses are very auspicious because they happen on the nodes, and the nodes are about to change soon. We'll talk about that another time, but they have been in Scorpio North Node and South Node and Taurus North Node. So these eclipses happen in these nodes. And what this means for us is certain insight about our destiny, about our purpose, and also stuff coming up about karma. So when we're looking at eclipses and these cycles that happen, it's important that you take note of what is coming full circle for you right now, and themes around emotional shadow work and hidden blind spots that may be coming to light, things around confusion, maybe, or something that you thought was a certain way and didn't pan out that way, almost like fantasy, like creating fantasies. And, relationships also take a big part of this because Scorpio deals with relationships in terms of boundaries and in terms of shared resources. So there's a lot that could be coming up. And these times tend to be, like I was saying, confusion and erratic, plus confusing and erratic, plus Uranus is conjunct this, is dealing because it's conjunct the sun while this full moon is happening. So it's in the mix here with its erratic behavior. And when we're talking about eclipses, we're also talking about sudden changes and erratic behavior and things that shift very quickly. So it's really good to slow down. Plus, we're in a Mercury retrograde, plus Pluto's in a retrograde. So things are a little bit intense. What should you be? The opposite. Calm down, chill out. If you don't have to have that conversation right now, don't have it. If you don't need to make that decision right now, don't make it. Take a step back, process, restore, regenerate, Because when we're talking about shadow work, and I want to spend a little time today talking about shadow work because everybody throws around this term shadow work. And, we're like, what is it? Like, what is it? What are we doing? And simply, it's not an it in itself. It's simply, for me, it's a choice, a decision to not run away from my feelings, to feel permission to feel all my feels, no matter how dark they get, no matter what is coming up for me. And these eclipses pull from earlier cycles. Like I heard some astrologers talking today about this eclipse pulling from last October, November. So think about where you were then. And eclipses constantly pull from this and they bring things to fruition in a way where all of a sudden your life changes. And with this one being in Scorpio and all these things coming to light in terms of your emotions, it is important, again, to slow down, take care of your body, hydrate, go back to the basics, meditate if you can, move your body. I can't stress this enough because this will help you move energy. And I was talking to Kat, another collective member, and I was telling her how I'm uncomfortable, like all day long. For like 3 days, I've just been uncomfortable. I know it's like I can't pinpoint exactly what this emotional wave is about, but all I can tell you is that a lot of things have happened around me. And I don't know exactly which one I'm this upset about, but I'm just uncomfortable all the time, and I'm just like, okay, slow down, breathe, move, go back to the things that ground you. The breath. Can't stress this enough. Okay, collective? Like if you take anything from this report today, take care of your body. Take care of you. Tap into what you need and give yourself that. And, during times like this, we get to look at ourselves. We get an opportunity to look at ourselves in a deep way. How we play a part in our own suffering, right? And how can we shed that? How can we release? And the biggest epiphany of Scorpio, when you're dealing with scorpionic themes, where is it that you're going? What is the summit? Forgiveness. In the end, you're dealing with this shadow work to then forgive yourself from your perceived mistakes, from your trauma, from things that either happened because of your fault or not, or maybe things that you have been blaming yourself for. Again, relationships will be involved here because Venus is square Neptune at the time of this full moon. And things about relationship are going to come up because also Mercury is close to the North Node, maybe even conjunct, going retrograde at the time of this full moon too. So Mercury may bring up conversations around relationships, shared resources, finances. Oh, I thought you were gonna put that away. Oh, wait, hold on. Right? And you're gonna need to take care of your nervous system so that you don't snap and lose it. And any situation that you confront during these days in this portal, maybe you have a chance to step back, breathe, and have the conversation later. But if your nervous system is erratic, you will react without thinking, which then can lead to consequences that didn't need to happen. So easier said than done. However, we will be looking at regeneration of things like grief, death, again, shared resources, patterns, toxic patterns in relationships, abuse, sexuality, deception, feeling exposed, really having to lean into your vulnerability uncomfortably, apparently for me. Because with Scorpio, there are stages of power. You know, when you're in the scorpion stage of Scorpio, down here closest to the earth, as a critter, you may be dealing with things like jealousy. If that's your stage of evolution, you may be dealing with things like envy, in relationship. And then when Scorpio evolves into the eagle, and maybe you're dealing with things like, death and grief and feeling a bit exposed, seeing things from a larger standpoint and how you play a part in your own suffering. And then you get to the epitome, the summit of Scorpio, and you're like Phoenix, right? Dying to your own ashes and then being reborn from them into something different. You get to choose where you're at in your evolution. You get to declare that and claim it for yourself and claim that power for yourself. But you can't do it if you don't meet yourself where you're at and forgive. And that usually is forgive you, and then others and stuff like that. But there's always a role that we play in this game, in this thing called life, So watch out for these things. Take your time with this one. There is no rush. Work through these things that are presenting themselves. There is a transformational opportunity here to clear yourself of the things that have held you back, that you don't even know of half of the time because they're in your subconscious mind. And our shit luck is that we manifest from our subconscious mind 95% of the time. So this is why sometimes we're running around like chickens without a head, not knowing what we're doing. And we get to tap into that depth and heal that place. And this Scorpio full moon is going to illuminate the way for you. Don't be afraid. Walk through the path. Ugly cry it. Freaking do the whole thing. Don't hold back, because find support. Call another collective member. Right? But release and forgive, because that is the best thing that you can do for yourself right now. It is the best way that you can step into your destiny and you can step into your purpose that this North Node in Taurus is showing us. More stability, more grace, more connection to our body and to the earth. All these yummy good things, the beauty of Venus. Take your time with this one. It's worth it. It's worth it. And like I said, if a conversation's going to get too heated, maybe not the right time. But if you have something in your heart that you want to express and say, maybe it's time to say it. If it comes from that place of heartfelt meaning and joy, I can see a lot of us tapping into a deep part of us that maybe wants us to express in some way. And I don't want you to hold back. So if your thing is art, then do it. If you write, then write it. If you haven't gone outside and had a beautiful day outside, go have one. Really take care of you right now and really lean into this time, because there is so much healing available. So I hope that we can all support each other during this time. I know I'm here for support. You can always reach out to me, um, and DM me on Mighty Network, or find me on Instagram, The Modern Mystique. But, find another member in the collective if you need someone to hold space with you, because that's what we're here to do. We don't have to do it alone. And it's always, always great to lean into some emotional support. So thank you. Thank you. I will see you in the new moon. Um, happy riding this wave. Um, chill out, watch some Netflix, hang out with your friends. Um, and there'll be time to make decisions and worry about stuff later. Okay? Mwah. Big hug.